Hi, I'm Kari Bandle, the owner of Sacred Whisper Studio. This is my very first podcast, so thank you for being with me. The title and subject for today is Our Thoughts Are Magic, the Science and Spirituality Behind Mindset Shifts. So let's jump in. Have you ever noticed when you wake up in the morning in a bad mood, everything seems to go wrong and you're you're late and you're rushing around like crazy and you miss breakfast and everybody's crabby? To top it off, this has happened to me a few times. You show up for work and your shirt's on inside out, which is really embarrassing. And you think to yourself, this is going to be one of those days. However, just one small shift in perspective can make a situation feel completely different. And it isn't just a coincidence, it's the power of your mindset. Your thoughts shape your reality, influencing everything from your emotions to your energy and even the opportunities that come your way. If you think, I feel lazy today, you're probably not going to get up off that couch and get your chores done. On the other hand, if you wake up thinking, oh my God, look at that sunshine coming through the curtains, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to enjoy it. In both cases, it's going to go how you think it's going to go. Science supports this idea through neuroplasticity, while spiritual teachings remind us that energy flows where attention goes, or as I like to put it, you bring about what you think about. In this podcast, we'll explore both perspectives and give you practical tools to start harnessing the power of your thoughts. Here's the science between how your brain wires itself based on your thoughts. Your brain isn't a fixed structure. It's constantly rewiring itself based on what you think, feel, and experience. This concept, known as neuroplasticity, explains how thoughts physically shape the brain's pathways. Repetition also strengthens neural pathways. When you repeatedly think a certain way, negative or positive, your brain strengthens those connections, making those thoughts automatic. Your brain literally can't tell the difference between real and imagined. Studies show that simply visualizing an action activates the same brain regions as actually doing it. I wonder if I can lose weight by thinking about working out. Might have to try that. So, what you focus on expands the reticular activating system, or RAS, in your brain and filters out unnecessary information to focus on what you believe is important. If you constantly think, I'm unlucky, your brain will notice and reinforce situations where you feel unlucky, ignoring all the good stuff. My husband actually thinks that he's unlucky and he won't get on any of the football pools or anything like that because he says he's not lucky and he has me pick. He's like, if you want to do it, you pick. But I am lucky and I win them a lot because I believe I can. So here's a quick science experiment that you can try. Spend one day looking for red cars. You're suddenly going to notice that there's red cars everywhere. And on the next day, look for kind gestures. You're going to find those too. This will be just a fast way to prove that what we choose to focus on shapes our reality. I remember thinking when I was pregnant that there sure were a lot of pregnant ladies everywhere where I went. In reality, it was just in the forefront of my mind, so I naturally saw more pregnant women everywhere I went. So just give it a shot. Go look for red cars or whatever you want. Here is the spiritual side, where energy follows intention. Many spiritual traditions teach that our thoughts create our reality. This is the foundation of manifestation, the law of attraction, and energy work or Reiki. I have some experience with all of those. And by the way, an extra perk of your manifestations coming to fruition is the feeling of how great it is that you know how much the universe loves you. It's also really satisfying to say, I did that. So let me tell you just a quick story about my next door neighbor. when the family moved in, the woman seemed like really nice and she would wave when we waved at her and she said hi. He was always really silent and he'd look away. He never waved, he just scowled. So then we started to notice that there was like some really disturbing, abusive behavior towards the family pets and disgusting expletives while he yelled at his very young children. Anyway, enough was enough. I decided to manifest that they move, but I took care of everybody by specifically saying to the country where he has no neighbors. Then a week or so later, my husband said he wished that they would move. And I don't really know why. I'm not sure what set him off, but he was standing there talking to my son, and they said, but he really hasn't been there that long. And he owns the house, so it really isn't very likely. To which I said, oh, I'm manifesting that. And they laughed, and my son and him went on with their day. So let me preface the conclusion by telling you that my husband is my biggest supporter. However, he is a bit older than myself, and men of that era don't generally look at psychic medium abilities as real. So the next day, I'm making coffee and I look out the window to see a for sale sign in their front yard. I laughed as my husband looked. He couldn't believe I was laughing before my coffee, so he looked to see what was going on, and his words were, "Holy crap! I'm starting to believe this stuff." And those weren't exactly his words, but I cleaned it up a little bit for you. But the point here is that I believe I can create anything in my reality, and I have over and over. And that, my friends, is the power of believing that you can. So, getting back to it, your vibration attracts experiences. Just like a radio tunes to specific frequencies, your energy aligns with experiences that match your dominant thoughts. So, keeping your beautiful self in a positive, high vibing state is really important. Your words and thoughts hold energy. Ancient traditions, from chanting and meditation to affirmations, have long understood that repeating words or phrases can actually shift reality. So while mindset matters, combining it with aligned action strengthens the process. The universe responds when we believe and take inspired steps forward. So here's a spiritual visualization exercise. Just close your eyes and imagine yourself with what you really want, what you desire in your life, and really take it in. Like, how does it make you feel to have what you want? How does this version make you think or speak or look? Use all your senses when possible and really engage your feelings and hold on to that feeling because your energy is shifting in real time. So, here are some actionable steps you can make to start shifting your thoughts today. If you've been stuck in negative thought patterns, don't worry, your brain and energy are adaptable. Here are three simple ways to start. First is awareness, catching your thoughts in action. Throughout the day, notice when you're thinking negatively and ask yourself, would I say this to a friend? If not, just reframe it. Flip the script and use this reframing technique instead of saying things like, I'll never succeed. Say, every step I take is leading me to success. Instead of, I always mess things up. Say, I'm learning and improving every day. Personally, I've been known to slip and correct myself in real time. I think it's good for people to hear it. The last time I caught myself in a negative mind frame, I had broken my pendulum and was a little bit bummed, I gotta tell you. I said to a friend, I hope I find a new pendulum soon. And then I said, no, I meant to say a new pendulum will show up for me immediately. Of course, the perfect pendulum showed up in a closet upstairs the next day. I had lost it for a while. It was actually my mother and father's wedding bands that were melted together in a teardrop shape. It's what I originally wanted to use, but evidently the time wasn't right for it. So when this one broke, my mind was ready to accept it, and everything always works out for me. And there it was. And now some visualization plus action. Start each morning by picturing a positive outcome. Maybe you will get done at work early and beat the traffic, or you run errands effortlessly and have time to sit in the sun on your patio with a friend. However, that looks for you, just make it positive. Take one small action step that aligns with your vision. Here's a great example. My daughter last year told me that she wanted a kayak and she couldn't afford it. And she really wanted to get out there and get in the water. So I suggested that what can you do to get closer to that? So she purchased the mounting bracket for her car, which she could afford. So she took one action step, one move closer to getting that kayak. So here's a 3-day mindset challenge. If you want to see the power of your thoughts in action, try this for 3 days. On day one, thought awareness. Write down 5 negative thoughts you notice throughout the day. And at night, rewrite them in a positive way. On day two, reframe and speak positively. Each time you catch a negative thought, just pause and reframe it. Use a positive affirmation in place of old limiting beliefs. On day three, align your actions. Choose one goal you've been procrastinating on and take one small action step towards it with the mindset that success is inevitable. You are more powerful than you realize. Your mind is constantly shaping your reality. The more you practice shifting your thoughts, the more you'll see external changes in your life. And the best part? This isn't just wishful thinking, it's science and spirituality working together. So, are you ready to start? Begin with today's challenge and let me know what shifts your experience. If you made it to the end of this site, thank you. And I have a lot of great stuff coming up, and I promise I'm going to get better at this. So, I'm going to see you next week. Have a great one.